Just checking this logging job. If you've followed along with the channel, you've seen this property before. We did a management plan for this guy, and now we're following up on that plan. In the management plan is to do a shelter wood harvest, probably in some areas down to a seed tree harvest, so it'll be pretty sparsely populated with trees. And you can see this area is more of a shelter wood style. Quite a few trees left in the stand, probably more than what I really want to regenerate oak and cherry, but that's okay. It looks good. We're putting in food plots, and I'll show you what's going on with the food plots today. We finally got that started. We're de-stumping them right now, and follow along, because I think the way I go about this is a little different than most people, and I think that this is the way it should be done, although it's a little expensive. What we try to do is get the money out of the timber to put back into the food plots, and then as we regenerate the timber, then we have food and cover, browse, escape cover. So I'm gonna go check with the logger. We're gonna try to measure, even though it's a little scattered, we're gonna measure the acreage that's done and compare that to the loads of saw timber that came out of here. The pulpwood will just go for nothing, because pulpwood, it just isn't worth anything anymore. We're not close to any mill. There was a paper mill just down the road here, and it's a shame, but it's closed and they're dismantling it now. So the whole paperwood market has collapsed, which makes it really difficult to do these regeneration harvests. So we're going to take what they call scrag wood, which usually goes into making pallets. One load of pulpwood a week, and we're going to take whatever small saw timber that is not oak or cherry. So that's the prescription, and we'll see what we can get done here and see what it looks like later. I think it's going to turn out fantastic. There's a lot of deer in the area, and this is going to be the place where they want to go when the shooting starts. So stay tuned. Unfortunately, this property has been repeatedly raped by an irresponsible logger. So when I got here, there wasn't a lot left that I can work with timber-wise. The place was loaded with junk, beat up timber, everything the logger didn't want. But once in a while, you can see a survivor. There's a cherry that's about 10 inches in diameter, has an okay crown on it. There's a white oak there that got scraped up, but it still has a crown that can produce acorns. That's good. So the instructions for the logger are to go through, take everything that he could possibly market and get it out of here. You know, as far as low-grade wood and red maple. Mostly red maple is where the saw timber is going to be, and it's all real small saw timber. It's, you know, barely worth dragging out of here. But we don't need a lot of red maple. It's not good. It takes over the whole stand. What we want to try and do is regenerate the cherry and the oaks, the more valuable woods for the future. So he's taken out everything that is butt scarred, rotten in the middle, twisted up, that type of thing. And that's kind of how it turns out. That'll all green up, of course, and then we have to go through and start taking out things like striped maple. Up there we might, since there was nothing worth keeping in that little patch there, maybe we'll make a food plot there. So as he cuts, I have a better idea of what the ground is looking like as far as rocks and good soils. That might be a good spot for a small food plot. So this maple right in front of me here, sorry, it's so hot that the phone isn't working with my fingers. It doesn't sense my fingers because it's so hot. That's not worth anything and needs to come out of here. So right now he's just trying to put a load together for a truck that's coming. There's a pulp truck coming at noon, and there's a saw log truck coming. So he needs enough to fill that truck up. Finally got that gathered up. I think he bit off a little more than he could chew there. But to make money on a job like this, you have to get as much wood out in one hitch as you can possibly get. Because that stuff is darn near worthless. Just a little bit dry out here. So sorting this stuff out, we have 3 different grades of product. These little pallet logs here. This would be like a scrag firewood pile. Now he'll take those nice straight ones, separate them out, cut them into length, and then put them in this pile. And then that's a pulp pile. So sometime soon here, we're going to have a slasher set up on this landing where they can just grab that stuff, cut the butts off, set the other stuff aside, and take it to the pulp mill. Okay, so now Ruben's going to cut those to length, whatever length that they want at the mill, and this guy will load them up and take them. Now contrast this to the timber that I was getting off the last harvest. A load of timber can be worth anywhere from $250 to the landowner up to $2,000, $2,500 to the landowner, depending on what it is. This is all junk that just isn't worth anything. But as you harvest your timber, that's part of the management, is to get rid of this stuff. Keep focusing your growing energy on the quality species and individuals. Okay, so once the logger has the food plots cleared, there's a bunch of slash in here, of course, so we brought in a chipper with a knuckle boom on it, so you can drag the tops in there and then chip them up. So that's all that chipped wood there. And then we bring in a stump driller. That's a Stump X, and it drills out the stumps. And that's what it leaves behind. It just shreds the stump. If you, I've said this 100 times, I guess you're probably tired of hearing me say it, but when you pluck the stumps out with a track hoe, you have a hole to fill. You generally fill it with your topsoil, and your topsoil is gone, and you're dealing with subsoil. So you can see that there's some dark color, and we're retaining the organic layer. And in the woods, you only have about an inch of that. These piles are compost, and what that came from is that when he brought in chips and chipped the road, That's been there for years and it kind of rotted down. So we brought it up here, and then we'll bring in some municipal compost as well. There's some good compost in the town near here. And we'll spread that. We'll spread our lime and till everything all in together. And we've got a nice, beautiful, level food plot ready to plant. Came out of the woods. I'm going to work on a management plan for a while. Such a beautiful day to sit outside and work at the picnic table. I'm going to call this the end of part one, and it gets a little boring right now. We're just going to keep drilling those stumps and drilling the stumps for a while until that's finished, and then things will move along a little bit better, and I will record that and bring it to you later. So make sure you subscribe if you're not already, and click on the bell, and you'll be notified when the next one comes out, and we'll follow along with this project. And then that way you can see how I go about taking a property from mediocre to excellent hunting. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.